Hey, buddy.
Hey, good morning, boys. I'm good. A good day of football, a good day off, a few IPAs, and I'm good to go today.
IPAs.
Nice.
What was the ALC in the IPA that you like? About 8.5?
Yeah, I sort of go 7.5 to 8.5.
Good choice.
Made a run up to Treehouse,
Oh.
the best IPAs in the world up in Mass, and my son actually had a hockey tournament up there, and he brought some back.
Oh,
So
wow.
Nice.
I think
had
I've
a
had
good
those
day.
before.
Oh, they're the best. I will bring them in to you guys.
Very
Hey,
good.
I was telling Cakes during the break. I said, even though we're in game 42, tonight against Anaheim at home is a must-win. I'm sorry, it just is. They've lost 7 of 9. They're giving up a ton of goals. Caps have lost 8 of 11. They got some tough games coming up. They got to play St. Louis back-to-back, at Minnesota, at Colorado, at Dallas. Tonight's a must-win. I'm sorry, it just is.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I thought Sunday's game up at MSG was sort of a must-win, and the reason I thought it was a must-win is the fact that when you look at our schedule, you just nailed the games coming up, all toughies against some very good teams, and we had a chance to crawl up in the Metro when we only have 7 games left against the division. So that makes it hard. You know, the divisional games are 4-pointers. Now we're going to travel. Now we're going to play teams out of our division until like mid-February. So it was tough to see that loss 2-1 the other day because that was a huge 2 points the way the standings are looking today.
Locker, were you surprised to see Charlie Lindgren get the back-to-back starts against the Rangers? I mean, when
Is
you
that the
look,
first time in his career, I thought they said?
He was so
Yeah,
good.
first time in his career in the NHL. He's
Right.
done in the American League. You play 3-3 most of the nights in the American League. I'm not disliking it. I like playing goalies. I'm a big believer you win, you're in. And to me, the way Chucky's been playing, he deserved that start. He wasn't really tested a whole lot on Saturday. And when you look at it over the last season and a half, the numbers, you know, everyone looks at analytics and say, well, if the goalie plays back-to-back, he's tired. He has to stand there for the full 60 minutes, yada, yada, yada. These guys are tremendous athletes. I worry about the weight loss for goalies in net, and maybe they're not as strong the next day because they lose a lot of weight, a lot of fluids. But because of the 1 o'clock game, he had plenty of time to get a good meal, get rested, get ready for that game. And I thought he was outstanding again, and I would not be surprised he gets a start again tonight. I mean, you look at his numbers, you look what he's done, although Kuemper did beat Anaheim earlier in the season, so he has that on his resume. But when you look at it over the last year and a half, or last season and a half, it's happened 51 times. And the goalies have won 28 or 27 outright of those games. So it's not like if it's happened 51 times, now 52, if you look at it and said, well, the goalie in back-to-back has only won 5 games because his save percentage stinks and his goals against stink, then you'd have concern. But I didn't have concern whatsoever. He's on his game. He's playing A-plus for the Caps.
can you point to anything specific for Darcy Kuemper's struggles? I mean, I'm going to assume that when he was signed that you thought that was a good move by Brian McClellan and the Caps. Like, instead of having, 2 guys that you weren't sure of who you're going to start night after night, you get your 1A goalie in Kuemper, and Lindgren was supposed to be the backup plan, but now Lindgren is superseding Kuemper when he's healthy.
Absolutely. You look at their numbers, and it's definitely a factor, and you're looking at it and saying, well, what's the difference? Well, to me, the little difference that I see is Kuemper is big. He's solid. He plays a very technical game. When you look at Charlie, sometimes there's technical, but then there's some stuff outside the box. I would say the post-to-post movement, being able to get that left toe there. And I think the big difference has been his catching glove, to be honest with you. That's why Joe and I asked him, and we named him Josie, his catching glove, because he always said, yeah, my good glove came to my rescue, my this and my that about his glove. So we put a name to it, and that's been the difference. His catching glove has been phenomenal. In the new NHL, they talk about freeze rate. Freeze rate is when goalies stop the puck and freeze the puck on big attempts. What that prevents...
What do you mean freeze the puck?
No rebounds.
Okay, so they catch it. Yeah,
Okay.
no rebounds, or they put
Gotcha.
the glove over top, and they talk about freeze rate. The higher the freeze rate, generally the better chances you are going to have playing in net because you freeze the puck. Now you get a line change. Now you stop the play. Now the momentum's taken away from the opposition. I think his catching glove's been fantastic on great split saves like the one against the save the other night. I thought was the best save of the season when he denied Kreider. He beat him once with the right toe, then into the catching glove.
Yeah.
That's a big-time stop that really helped the momentum of that game.
Did you read Kreider's lips after that stop? He said, Chuck, you're not. I'm just paraphrasing, but he basically said, Chuck, you're not a normal human being. That's what he said to him.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the way he's been playing, Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you look at analytics are funny. Everyone says don't look at save percentage, don't look at goals against, and I look at expected saves above average. And his expected saves above normal, like you shouldn't make those stops, is right up there, top 1 or 2 in the NHL.
Who's that?
That means he's making saves.
Lindgren.
Okay,
Lindgren.
right.
Yeah.
That means he's making saves above expected that on a normal goalie in the NHL they're not going to make.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like at 12 or 13 that he's made above expected. That to me is a statistic that I really look at and say, yeah, he's making saves that he shouldn't, because the old adage in goaltending is stop the ones you should, which is normal, and throw in a couple that you shouldn't stop. If you're a goalie like that, you're going to win more often than not. And that, to me, is Chucky in a nutshell. He has been outstanding, probably the star of the team so far between the pipes.
Locker, let's get to the elephant in the room. Ovi. All right, he's missed the last game or two.
Yep.
But the lack of goals is alarming. We talked to you, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, and you said it's coming. He's still getting the shots, but it's not a small sample size anymore. It's half the season. I think the chase for the record for Gretzky, it's in doubt now because people were figuring, well, he'll score 35 goals this year. He might only score 12 to 15.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that because I remember at the start of the season we had our opening night. We were down there at F Street and we went around the horn there and, Mayday said 46 or something. I said 41. And so we were all in the 40s for Ovi.
40s.
And now, now we're thinking, we got to get in the 20s here. I mean, he's got some points. He's got, a 6-game point streak prior to his injury after he took that butt shot from Stahl off the faceoff, and he's still been lingering with that as a problem. So there's no continuity up front, right? You look at the lines, the McMichael line's been together, the Dowd line's been together, and now the line I absolutely love is Strome, Pacioretty, and Oshie, because now they're chipping in offensively. To me, it's been the top 6 scoring that has put the Caps in jeopardy because the goals for is right near the bottom of the league. And then you're not scoring on the power play. And some of the onus has to go to the captain, absolutely. But there's been no chemistry. Who's he playing with? If he comes back tonight, I imagine he plays with Kuznetsov and Wilson. That's sort of what I would do, but I'm not sure what Carberry's going to do. But he's got to get motoring. He's got to be a bigger factor. I think his 5-on-5, if he jump starts the power play, I think his 5-on-5 play will be better.
Locker, was it a bad look for Laviolette after the Caps beat the Rangers when he wouldn't even mention Mantha by name in the post-game presser?
I don't think so. I mean, you look at it, it's just the way it is. I mean, it's just the way these coaches are. Lavi had a good run here, and now he's had a good run in New York, and he's an all-star coach. So, you know what? I don't think it's that bad of a look, to be honest with you.
All right, Locker, we're looking forward to you and Joe B being on the call tonight. Caps, Ducks from Capital One. Like Jason said,
It's a must-win.
It's a must-win.
Yep.
January.
We're putting it on the stage. Yeah, it's amazing. Game 42, boys, and it's a must-win tonight.
There
Correct.
you go. All right, Locker, thanks, man. We'll have you on again soon. Appreciate the time.
You got it, guys. Thank you.
Yep.